Syria's government is tightening its noose around East Aleppo, strangling the nearly 100,000 civilians thought to remain inside. The rest are fleeing by the tens of thousands. For fighting-aged men, escaping Aleppo can seem like jumping from the pan into the fire. The United Nations said hundreds of men and boys disappeared once they reached government-held West Aleppo this week.
What is the worry among human rights workers once Aleppo falls completely?
You have a huge number of people who may be exposed to reprisals of different kinds, including being picked up and held in detention centers, interrogated and tortured.
Meanwhile, a flurry of negotiations to end the slaughter has once again achieved little. Secretary Kerry urging Syria and Russia to protect the innocent.
They need to provide guarantees and allow guarantees to be put in place that make certain that people are not marching into a massacre.
Government forces say they've captured over 90% of what was once Syria's largest city. They're determined to achieve a military victory and finally tip the war's balance in President Assad's favor. But at a high cost, nearly 6 years of war and more than 400,000 dead. It's a civil war complicated by the ongoing fight against ISIS in the region, in which U.S. troops are increasingly involved. The U.S. Secretary of Defense today announced 200 special operations troops will join the 300 soldiers already fighting ISIS in Syria. Another continuing war that Donald Trump stands to inherit. Matt Bradley, NBC News, London.
The Syrian government's long-awaited and brutally fought total military victory in Aleppo now seems close. Government forces control 93% of the city, the Russian military said today. So faced with what seems to be an almost certain defeat, thousands are crossing over to government territory. But they face an uncertain fate once they do. The UN today said it's received reports of hundreds of men who've gone missing.
Those who support the Syrian regime will forever be associated with the fate of these men, some of whom are still boys.
Even Dr. Farida, who told us tonight she's the last female doctor left in rebel-held East Aleppo, worries what the regime will do to her.
Of course, I'm afraid. When they approach to my house, I just wait what they want to do with me.
Why are you still staying?
Because I'm doctor. I can't go out. There are some people need me.
But staying in eastern Aleppo could mean dying anyway. Our camera followed this man with his wife. When she collapsed, he prayed for her last rites. She died a short time later. Secretary Kerry tonight said what's happening in Syria is the worst catastrophe since World War II. For the rebels, Aleppo was their biggest hope to bring down the regime. Now many there just hope to get out with their lives. Lester?
All right, Richard Engel tonight. Richard, thank you.